What are the professions that most people think is hard but actually isn't? Security for sure, but specifically in armed security. Having worked at a casino and then with a contract company, think Garda World, Allied Universal, etc. The hardest part about my job was the learning phase. Security usually runs like clockwork unless you're in a particularly bad neighborhood, but even then, if you're unarmed, you're just a glorified doorman to keep insurance happy. Even armed security guards don't have it as bad overall, but the responsibility is sometimes more than the average person is willing to take on. There are many jobs that this might apply to. I think the difference is that in many of these easy jobs, you only get one mistake. Mistakes can either be catastrophic or fatal. So the tasks may be easy, but you're being paid for vigilance, focus, and the ability to reproduce a task at the same level over and over. To me, that's the difference between easy, low-paying jobs and easy, high-paying jobs. If you mess up, no one dies. Corporate lawyering. High bar, hate entry, but once you're in, it's basically just talking. Lots of people know how to talk. Lots of people know the laws of their industry and can talk intelligently about them. Only very rarely is specialized expertise required that the CFO or compliance team or plant manager or editor-in-chief doesn't already have. My former neighbor was an air traffic controller. He said it was super easy. Like playing a video game. That surprised me. I'm an engineer. It's not terribly difficult if you have the right mindset. I tell people it's 90 experience, so it's not like anybody can just do it well from day one. But it really isn't the math that's the difficult part. My job, software engineering. People often ask if it's difficult, and I answer it's more a function of the type of person you are. Ask any software engineer what their personal project is, and they'll have at least one answer ready at hand. Basically, to be good at software engineering, you have to really like doing it. Airline pilot. For some reason people think you have to be a STEM major genius in order to be a pilot. Although it does take a bit of effort and there's an initial learning curve, but it's not super hard to fly a plane. The only hard part is decision making in tough situations. Farming. It's mentally draining at times when things like nature and weather take effect, but it's all just a system. Plant this at this date, harvest at this date, cows are born these dates, etc. I've had other jobs, but I find farming pretty straightforward. Many times IT support is incredibly chill. There were days I did nothing but play around on my phone because I didn't have any tickets. I say many times because some companies will assign you a bunch of busy work to keep you occupied. Corporate management's job seems like it's just throwing wrenches at people below them. The best managers I've seen are the ones that just fuck off and leave you alone. Pretty low bar when doing flat out nothing is considered good. IT. It isn't sexy work, and it does require some training, but once you're in, you're in. I've seen so many people phone it in. Basically just move the computer mouse enough to keep their status online, but not really produce much. There is a sentiment that being a cop is a dangerous job, but police didn't rank in the top 10 most deadly jobs in America for 2023. Automotive mechanic. Engines are incredibly simple once you learn the fundamentals of how it operates. The biggest hurdle is having the right tools for the job. Even wiring isn't hard, it's just tedious. Almost every profession in existence, TBH, very few jobs are mentally and physically hard. Some are mentally challenging but physically easy, and some are physically challenging but mentally easy. Construction. It's hard for like 2 weeks until your body-mind adapt to it. It's the same as any new job or hobby, and it's a shame so many people are intimidated by it for that reason. Driving big vehicles. It feels like driving any other truck after about a month, and you're just sitting down and listening to whatever you want that whole time. It's pretty great. NGL. Brain surgeon. Most people misunderstand and think they heard brain surgeon, but brain surgeons just bash the brains out of sturgeons, the fish, which ain't that hard to bash. Movie critic. It sounds like you need a deep understanding of film, but sometimes it seems like you just have to say, the book was better, and you're good to go. Sanitation garbage man is not the dirty, backbreaking job that it used to be. With very few usually seasonal exceptions. You'd also be surprised at the pay. Ergonomics. My job basically consists of saying that blue on blue is shit if you want your user to know what they're doing. Most jobs are quite easy if you're naturally inclined to doing that type of work. And they're hard if you aren't. Police officers, besides what the media depicts, all they really do is do a lot of paperwork. Industrial programming, automation, robots, etc. Learn one and it's copy-paste forever. Computer science. The degree is unbelievably hard, but the actual job is extremely easy. I'll bet English teacher would be easy for me, but impossible for you. It all depends. Being a 911 dispatcher is incredibly easy and I get paid way too much money for it. Engineering. Simple math and drawing skills are all that's required. Banker, it's basically just playing with money that you can lose. I'm a believer in the higher the pay, the easier the work. I work in finance. Hard to get and not very hard to do. A lot of office jobs are hard to get, but easy to do.